Hi, I'm Renee, the career coach, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a very tricky but crucial step in the interview process, and that is talking about salary expectations. If you've ever been caught off guard by this question or don't really know how to approach it or how to answer it, then this video is for you, because I'm going to be breaking down 4 different responses that you could give in the case that you're asked, what are your salary expectations? Which most likely will come up in one of the interviews in your interview process. But within these 4 different approaches that I'm going to give you, I'll give you the pros and cons so you can kind of weigh it out and see which fits best for you and which one you like best. And as a former recruiter, I can tell you that any of these responses are going to be a-okay and really set you up to succeed in answering this question. Okay, so the first option here is deflecting. And I feel like a lot of people use this as their go-to option because they don't want to corner themselves or, put a number on it too soon before they really show their value. And I get that. So if you are going to deflect, if you do want to use that as how to approach this question, then this is how it might sound. I'm really excited to learn more about the role and the team to understand how I can best contribute. At this point, I'm more focused on finding the right fit. I'd be happy to discuss salary expectations once we've both had a chance to determine if this is the right match. All right, so this answer clearly shows your enthusiasm for the role, shows that you're excited about the opportunity, but you're not putting yourself in a corner or putting a number on it too soon. However, answering with a deflect or pushing it back to the recruiter could backfire if you're not careful. And the reason for that is because it can make you seem like you're ill-prepared. If you do choose to go this route because you don't want to label yourself with a specific number, then a piece of advice that I would give you is to really hone in on your experiences, your skills, kind of boost that up a little bit so that they do see the value that you would bring. Option number 2 is requesting more information before giving an answer. Now, with this one, before giving a number, you're basically telling them, hey, I want to know just a little bit more about the role and the responsibilities, and how this might sound is the following. I'm open to discussing salary, but I'd like to get a clearer picture of the responsibilities and the team dynamic first. Can you share more about what success looks like in this role? The only thing that I would really watch out for here is it could look like you didn't do your research about the role. So in the last question, in the last response, it could, make it look like you didn't really do the research about what the going rate is for someone with your skills and for this job title, right? So you just want to make sure that you kind of clear that up. In this one, you want to make sure that it doesn't come off that you're ill-prepared about the position itself. So I love that you can also throw in about the team dynamic. Give me a little bit more information about that, or what success looks like in this role. Because yeah, that's information that you wouldn't be able to just go and Google and find out online. And so that's very valid information that you would want to know and have before giving a number with the salary range. So option 3 is actually where you turn it right back around and you ask the recruiter a question to their question. And basically what you're doing here is you're trying to get from them what the range is before you give them a solid number. So what this could look like, I'd love to get a sense of the budget you have in mind for this role, as I want to ensure my expectations align with what you're looking for. Could you help me understand what factors or qualifications differentiate someone at the low end of the range versus the higher end of the range? I'd love to know more about how my background aligns with the compensation structure. So again, you're throwing it back on them and you're basically saying, hey, I want to know a little bit more about this role before I give you a solid number. And when they do give you that number, if they do, and if not, then hold on for step number 4, option number 4 here. But when they do give you the information about what their range is, that's when you can really say, well, based on my skills, my experiences, I feel like I would align with X to Y amount. And I would not give them a specific number, not until you're in the negotiation process. Do you give like a solid number? I would always still just give a range. And we'll go over this a little bit more in the next step, but your range that you want to give, have the low end be what your ideal number would be. And if it does align that they tell you, okay, well, you know, for this position, we're looking at 80 to 95 or whatever, then you can say, oh, perfect. Well, you know, if 80 was like ideal for you, you could say, well, 83 to 87 would be a great range for me. And I feel like that really aligns with what the success and value that I would bring. So you can kind of play with it that way. Basically, when you do this though, and you push it back to them, this helps you avoid lowballing yourself at all, which is very helpful. But just be prepared that the recruiter may not want to share with you the range, and they may push back to you. And in that case, you'll just have to be ready and confident to share what your range is, which leads us to number 4, which is give your range. In my own opinion, I feel like this is the best way to handle this question, just because you're coming off as fully confident. You know your worth, you know your value, you've done your research, and this is the range that you're looking for. And, you know, if you can fit that, great. If not, I'm confident that I will find that somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be wasting your time or theirs, or you know, just throw a range out there. You really want the earning potential that matches what you're worth. Now, here's a tip for answering this way. And I kind of talked about this a little bit before, but when you're giving a range, give the low end as what your ideal number actually is. That way, you set yourself up to potentially make even more than what you were hoping for. Now, if you are worried, because I definitely feel this, that, you know, well, I'm okay with $90,000 and I don't want to say that, you know, 90 to 100, because what if that's way outside their range? Then I'm really eliminating myself from this position. If that's the case, then just go 5K under, you know, so say 85 to, you know, 95 or whatever your specific range is. But in the case that you actually know what your ideal number is, and you feel confident that I think this company could pay that, I've done my market research, I feel comfortable with this number, then yeah, put it as the low end of your range or somewhere around there. But basically, a way that this could sound as you're talking to the recruiter and presenting this as what your range is, it'll sound something kind of like this. I'm targeting a salary in a range of X to Y, given my skills and experience. I believe this range reflects the value I can bring to this company, and I'm confident we can find a number that works for both of us. So the reason that I prefer this approach is, again, the confidence, but it's also very direct. You're not wasting time. And while it can be beneficial with the other options to deflect or to get more information, those can be really beneficial ways to handle it too, because what you're doing is you're hoping that they see the value that you bring, and that as you go through the interview process, that value just builds and builds and builds, so that when they do finally ask you what your salary range is and what your expectations are, you're able to show that you're worth that through the interviews that you've gone through. But again, it can be a little risky because you may not get that chance. Nonetheless, the two options that I would recommend anybody using in the negotiation or salary talk in the interview process is the last option, where you just give your solid range and you go in strategically and have a number prepared and you're confident with that. Or option 3, where you are basically requesting more information before saying exactly what your range is. Now, again, Just be careful that you don't come off that you're not prepared about the role, but you're asking, what are the skills and experiences needed to succeed in this role? What are you really looking for? And when they share that, you say, hey, I've got that, and I know I'd be valuable in this position. And having that discussion with the compensation and hopefully getting a number out of them. I hope this video was helpful for you and helps you weigh some different options and how you could approach this. If you like videos like this and content that helps you in your job search, go ahead and subscribe, because I am posting new videos every week. And if this video was helpful for you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video.